Now I'm very excited this evening. I'm going to share the stage with two of my students. And they are going to tell you what learning Chinese means to them. Let's welcome Maninder Singh, a senior at Bayside High School and also one of my AP Chinese students. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin my speech, I want to apologize for any mistakes I make because I've never used a microphone before. So I'm going to begin. My name is Maninder Singh, and currently I'm a senior at Bayside High School. It is an honor to be an ambassador of the second language acquisition and be able to speak to you this evening. I have studied Chinese for 4 years at Bayside High School. Funny thing is, for many of those years, I feel like half the time I was saying which literally means I don't know. But the truth is, being able to take Chinese all through high school, including AP Chinese this year, has been one of the best opportunities ever given to me. Most of the modern world today requires some knowledge of another language. That's just how you move up in life. And Chinese being one of the world's most spoken languages, it has been a huge difference in my life. Not only will it help me career-wise, but it also has impacted my social life. My best friend of 10 years sitting in the audience today is of Chinese heritage, and being able to learn Chinese has allowed me to get to know him even better. Knowing Chinese has also helped me in my everyday life in Queens. Not too long ago, as I was walking the streets of Flushing, an elderly woman approached me and started asking for directions in Mandarin. At the time, I was afraid of butchering the language with my horrible accent, but I still went for it, and to my surprise, she was able to get the directions back home. This made me feel more confident, and experiences like this, learning and taking Chinese classes, had definitely influenced me and my desire to keep learning Chinese. Throughout my high school years, I had quite a few Chinese teachers, but the one that stood out the most was the one and only Ms. Shea. Learning about Chinese culture, you learn that teachers in China are respected and treated like they're your own parents. That is exactly how I felt being a student in Ms. Shea's class. Every day I had her class early in the morning, and even though I was tired, I was always energetic and enjoyed to be in her class. It was so enthusiastic to learn more because our amazing teacher was always so full of spirit. In her class, you weren't only a student, you were one of her own. Ms. Shea creates a really fun learning environment and helps make language relatable. For example, when she taught us the phrase 很多钱, which means a lot of money, she taught us the sentence 你有很多钱给女朋友, which means you need a lot of money for a girlfriend. Her class is very engaging and keeps us studying one to learn more. I'm sorry for all the females out there. Don't take any offense to that. I learned so much in Ms. Shea's class, and because of that, I planned on pursuing Chinese during my college years, just so I could further my knowledge of Chinese and become an even more proficient Chinese speaker. That being said, thank you everyone for taking the time to be here, for supporting teachers like Ms. Shea, who every day are giving their all to students like me. Now I'll introduce you to Liz Guatemala Torres, one of my AP Chinese peers. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. 再见，祝你有个愉快的夜晚。
大家晚上好。I remember looking at my freshman year schedule thinking, this must be a mistake. I never signed up for a class I'll fail. I panicked at the thought of learning a foreign language with no experience. It took me about a month to adjust to the language, but even then, I wanted to transfer to Spanish, my native language. My freshman year Chinese teacher suggested I stay in and give Chinese a chance. Staying in Chinese was one of the best decisions I've ever made. As the days, months, and eventually years went by learning Chinese, I fell more in love with the language and culture. Living in a society where I'm able to communicate in 3 of the most spoken languages in the world made me realize all my hard work in the classroom comes with more benefits than passing a class. I wish to someday travel to China. It's been my dream since I realized how beautiful and unique the country is and how special each province is in terms of dialect, culture, and customs. Through my AP Chinese teacher, Ms. Shea, I had the honor of sitting in a classroom with many heritage as well as non-heritage students who helped one another succeed in such a rigorous course. Many non-heritage students, such as myself, sometimes have trouble associating background knowledge about Chinese culture, such as festivals, with the language. Her methods of teaching, by assigning the class a variety of activities in which we learn and express our creativity, is the best method of what we need to do in order to succeed. In my opinion, the best part about the class is creating projects with visual representations such as drawings or pictures of famous Chinese destinations. When Ms. Shea hangs all the projects up, it makes me feel like I am actually visiting China. I was recently interviewed by a Columbia University alumni for college admission who, to my surprise, majored in East Asian languages and cultures, Chinese. We had a short conversation in Chinese. He asked my name, what my Chinese name was, and introduced himself in Chinese as well. I personally have never experienced anything more beautiful than an individual being able to communicate in a language that was once foreign to him. It was then when I realized Chinese language is more than just a class for me. It's something I want to expand my knowledge on throughout my college life and in my future workplace. Speaking the top 3 most spoken languages in the world is something I can carry with me in any line of work. This is beneficial since it allows me to be a flexible employee when communicating with individuals. Over a year ago, I was still questioning whether I wanted to continue learning Chinese after graduating high school, but after a couple months of taking AP Chinese with Ms. Shea, she became my motivation to bolster my fluency in such a beautiful language and be able to have a small talk or joke with the rest of the heritage speakers. I may not be Chinese, but Mandarin will have a place in my heart, and Ms. Shea helped me find that place. Thank you all for this wonderful night. I hope